I sometimes wonder what my son will think of me when he sees these videos one day in the future. Will there be a distinct disconnect between who I am right now, talking to the camera, and who he had a relationship with in real life? There are bound to be asymmetries, mostly because symmetries in life are almost always illusions. They have an allure to them that is hard to deny and even more challenging to ignore. I am always suspicious of symmetries for that reason. And if you ever find yourself examining something that is genuinely symmetrical to outward appearances, it's probably only that way because of the limitations of your viewing apparatus. Maybe it's your eyes. Maybe it's your memories. Maybe it's a device that's acting as a proxy. Whatever the case, symmetry is an illusion. The whole universe appears to be built on both the illusion of symmetry and the truth of asymmetry. It makes things seem a little chaotic when you think of it that way. But life and existence in a broader sense aren't Lego pieces that snap together in an ever-connecting construct that goes on and on forever and ever. Still, that doesn't stop us from seeking symmetry, does it? Because symmetry has a sense of order to it that asymmetry doesn't always offer. One of the metrics people use to establish a sense of order is the temporal signposts that exist throughout our lives. Birth, birthdays, graduations, marriages, deaths, funerals, a diagnosis, divorces. Examples abound. For instance, as I'm here in Leadville after my race that took place on August 13th, I can't help but think about when I became a police officer some 2 decades ago. The reasons for that are symmetrical in nature, or at least have the appearance of symmetry. Talking through them here might help expose the asymmetries that I believe are all but guaranteed to exist. Here's the story. 20 years ago this month, I shaved my head in preparation for entry into the basic training with my city's police department. Upon receiving confirmation of hiring, I decided to make a lifestyle change. I packed up my belongings and moved to a small mountain town with a mining history. And I stayed there until it was time to come home to embark on my new career as a police officer. The policing career itself only lasted 14 years. Here I am 20 years later. Same month, another small mountain town with a mining history, and on the verge of shaving my head, but this time for charity instead of for my basic recruit training. And I just completed one of the biggest challenges of my life, only not from a career perspective. This time it was all about learning about myself from the saddle of a mountain bike under austere conditions pressed upon me by altitude, distance, effort, and cutoffs. And as I stand here thinking this through, I have to wonder which will be more challenging when viewed retrospectively. Police training as a recruit or mountain biking 105 miles at over 10,000 feet of elevation. I mean, recruit training was hard, but it wasn't hard in the way that racing is. And recruit training was also connected to a greater goal, if you will, in that it was a precursor to a career in policing. Nobody is going to offer me a career as a mountain biker just because I finished this race. Recruit class was different. There was a sense that the training officers wanted you to succeed. The police department was desperate for new hires. That's another odd symmetry to me, although somewhat of an inversion. Like, the training officers gave almost no encouragement during basic training, but they wanted you to graduate, mostly. It was good for their pension to get new contributors, right? Whereas encouragement was plentiful on the mountain bike course, but few of those cheering had a vested interest in the success or failure of most riders. That's the inversion, but it still seems symmetrical to me. I had to shave my head as part of my employment agreement to become a police officer, a requirement of male recruits at the time of hiring. I am shaving my head now as part of a charity agreement that secured my entry into the race and helped raise money for a cause. Do you see what I mean? Can you see it? Yes. I can do this for hours. This is classic overthinking in the span of time that takes place after accomplishing something you didn't actually know you could achieve, but before you start something new to pull yourself out of the pensive existential load you're experiencing. I know that the symmetries between what I'm doing here in Leadville and those that took place 20 years ago in Edmonton are products of my mind. Trying to create relationships between two disparate events in my life by leveraging temporality. 20 years ago this month, I was about to shave my head and do something hard. And here I am doing it again. But am I? Probably not. This particular symmetry I've created in my mind between two distant points along a temporal spectrum is only that way because of my imagination.
Must be some kind of hot tub time machine.
I'm a pattern-seeking creature by both temperament and design. And it will only come to pass that yes, there was a symmetry here in my present with my past. Or no, there was only the illusion of that quality when viewed again at some distant temporal point in the future. One that looks like another aspect of this overarching symmetry that I think I can see. Ultimately, I hope my son Wyatt recognizes me for who I am now, who I will be as a father, and that the best parts of these symmetries benefit him, even if they turn out to be asymmetries.
So says the fighting philosopher.